Hey, Scarefest fans, it's Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. And there was a movie that came out a couple years ago, and I didn't get to see it, and I wanted to see it. And I just didn't make the time like I should. And then it finally came on streaming. Finally, it's on Peacock. You can find it on Peacock, I think. I finally watched it. I was so excited because I love the director's other movie he made. He's an actor. His name's Josh Rubin, but he's been in a ton of stuff. But he also directed a movie called Scare Me that I really enjoyed a couple years ago. In fact, I think I did a review on it here during COVID. Loved it. And then I watched his new movie, which actually came out in 2021, Werewolves Within, and not so much. Werewolves Within is basically this. I didn't even know it was based on a video game. So obviously I'm an idiot. Where these werewolves or this werewolf attacks a small town. Going to be a gas line coming through a small town, and a lot of the different locals who are all kooks are battling over it. The small town's called Beaverfield. And then a snowstorm traps them all together in one kind of little house. And the new forest ranger, Finn, and the new postal worker, Cecily, who's played by Milana Vontrub, and she's the lovely lady from the AT&T commercials, must try to, keep it all together and try to get them together and figure out who's the werewolf, who's killing people, and who is in the middle of all this. Man, there's scenes in it that work. I really like the lead actor who plays Finn. I actually think he did a really good job. His name's Sam Richardson. I like the Milana Von Trub, the other one. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just the movie doesn't mesh. There's not enough werewolf. It suffers a little bit from its budget. In fact, a couple of times I didn't care for when you do finally see the werewolf. I particularly didn't care for that. But let's be honest, when it comes to werewolves, it's really hard to top American Werewolf in London, The Howling, Ginger Snaps, Dog Soldiers. Werewolves are just basically Jekyll and Hyde anyway, but that's beside the point. I like a good werewolf film. I just named 4. Check them all out before you check this one out. And there's a mystery to it. So it's a horror comedy. There's not really any horror in it. There's a few chuckles, but it's not overly funny. It's one of those where it's not, and Wes always shits on me for saying the third act. And this one, it's more of like, oh man, it's not necessarily the third act as much as the screenplay needed another revision before they went to film it. It's just not enough jokes in it. There's not enough horror. There's not enough jokes. And who gives a damn about the mystery? Because most of you are going to figure it out in the first 45 minutes, even though you don't find out till 85 minutes into it of who the werewolf is. It's not a terrible movie. It's just middle of the road. And it's one of those things, oh my goodness, I'm really going to enjoy this. And I didn't. It's not, it's just middle of the road. Definitely go see Talk to Me if you want to go see a real original horror film. But Werewolves Within, it's okay. If you love werewolf movies and you already have Peacock, check it out. Watch it free, or you're already paying for streaming, watch it. But unless you're really into it, I don't know, just the main characters. He's a nice guy, and it's kind of the joke. It doesn't even really get interesting till the werewolf, which is 80 minutes into the movie, that you find it out and that they do the flip of the character who it is. And that character, once that person flips and starts letting people know that they're the werewolf, that's interesting. I would have liked to have seen 40 more minutes of that. Unfortunately, it's the last 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, and the mystery, who cares less? You had already figured it out 45 minutes into it. So Werewolves Within, I can't necessarily recommend it, but I also can't tell you not to watch it because it's not the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen. In fact, it's not even that bad. It's just fair to Midland, as they would say in Eastern Kentucky. Try to do Werewolves without. Bye.